Well, check out this stunning education statistic. 8 New York City public high schools have produced 14 Nobel laureates to date. That's more than most countries. Now, the schools are supposed to be a path to success for the city's poor and working class students. In fact, to get in, students have to take a very rigorous test. But now, that test is under attack. It's a fight that may be pitting minorities against each other. America Tonight's Sarah Hoy has this story.
They are the jewels in the crown. 8 specialized high schools in New York City, feeders to the best colleges, and for generations, a golden ticket for city kids. Kids like Kanae Bunch. At 13, she already knows her ticket out of the South Bronx is education.
Mom, did you do measure card? In school, it's a lot of kids who don't really care about learning at all, so you're the only one that want to learn. Even if they call you nerd or whatever, it doesn't matter because you know what you're doing is right.
So in your mind, are you going to college?
Yes, I am. I'm definitely am.
But before college, Kanae has to get into high school, and she's aiming high for a spot at one of the premier schools. For more than 70 years, admission has been based on a test called the Specialized High School Admissions Test, or SHSAT. Each fall, nearly 30,000 8th and 9th graders take the grueling 2-hour test for a chance to earn a coveted seat. But now the test itself is under attack. Students like Kanae are finding their neighborhood schools don't adequately prepare them for what's on the SHSAT. At Kanae's school, less than 10% of the students pass state standardized tests for math and English, the 2 subjects needed for the SHSAT. The result? Record low numbers of Black and Latino enrollment in these top public schools. Together, Blacks and Latinos account for about 70% of the city's public school students. But in the specialized schools, they make up only 12%. For the 2012-13 school year, Stuyvesant High School, often the most sought after, accepted only 19 Black students out of 967 available spots.
What we've been seeing in the last decade, maybe even more, was that the number of both Black and Latino kids getting into these schools, even as they're increasing in the numbers of students who are represented in the public school system in New York, the numbers have been going down and down.
Leading the attack against the test is the NAACP's Legal Defense and Education Fund. Rachel Kleinman filed a civil rights complaint with the U.S. Department of Education in 2012, arguing that the single test system disproportionately impacted Blacks and Latino students. According to the complaint, many fully qualified, high-potential students are denied access to the life-changing experiences that specialized high schools offer.
Really what the test is testing is how well you do on that test. And therefore, students who have access to test prep or who prioritize test prep are the ones who are getting in. And we don't think that that's a fair measure of merit when so many people, so many students, of all races, are working hard in all of their subjects. They're also having to take state standardized tests that already exist, and they're excelling in these things and maybe still not getting into the specialized high schools.
This summer, state legislators introduced a bill to change the 1971 law establishing the exam-based entry requirement to include other admission factors. But proponents of the test are fighting back.
In life, you want to base your achievements on your merit.
Michael Benjamin works with a coalition of parents and alumni who want to keep the test. The former state assemblyman and graduate of Bronx Science says the test is not the problem.
The test, in my view, is not biased. Math is not biased. What's biased is the fact that we've allowed, and NAACP and others have allowed, poor, underperforming middle schools to continue year after year, decade after decade, in Black and Hispanic neighborhoods.
Specialized high schools, there was a very low number.
Mayor Bill de Blasio, whose own son attends one of the elite schools, has joined the argument. He wants to do away with the test as the sole criterion for admission. During his campaign, de Blasio said the single test entrance requirement created a rich-get-richer system. But it turns out it's not affluent students who are acing the test and getting into these schools.
I feel like I earned it because I studied hard for it, and I feel like I deserve it too.
Tassine Chattery is a freshman at Stuyvesant High School. His family emigrated from Bangladesh to Queens. His father found a job as a Manhattan deli worker to support their family of 4.
I know from a much younger age they used to talk about Stuyvesant High School because I had family members that tried to get into Stuyvesant and some got in, some didn't. It's been something I've just been born into.
Now motivated by hopes of running a technology startup, 14-year-old travels almost 3 hours every day just to get to school and back.
Is this a rich kid school?
I feel like that Stuyvesant is not a rich kid school because most of the people I go to school with are not rich. They're just like me. They're in financial situations just like me. They just try really hard. Their families try really hard, and they find ways just to get prep and to study. It's more South Asian. It's more Bengali, Pakistani, Indian. It's a school to help the minorities get up.
Asian Americans account for over 60% of the students at specialized high schools. Although many may assume these students come from an affluent middle class, according to the city's most recent poverty measure, Asian Americans have the highest poverty rate of any racial group in New York City, 29%, compared to Latinos at 25% and blacks at 22%. Families like Desene's have bought into a core belief of the American dream. Work hard enough and anyone can be successful. To him, doing well on the SHSAT is evidence of his hard work.
Do you think they should get rid of the single test entrance?
I'm against changing the SHSAT because the SHSAT and Stuyvesant in general is based just on merit and how well you do in school and how well you succeed in this test. And I feel like a test isn't racist, it isn't against anyone, it's equal.
For the mayor to use the term, the rich getting richer, it's extremely misguided and misleading.
Ivan Khan, himself a graduate of Bronx Science, is president and CEO of Khan's Tutorial, one of the many prep centers in areas serving large populations of Asian Americans, like Desene, who spent 2 years at Khan's prepping for the SHSAT.
No matter whether you're a physician in Korea or an engineer back in Bangladesh, or a professor in Albania, in Eastern Europe, for whatever reason you move to the United States, most families have to start all over again. And by starting all over again, it means working blue-collar jobs in the taxi industry, restaurant industry, or shop owners. All immigrants would love for their children to have better opportunities, and that's the main reason they migrate here in the first place. Right now, for Asian American immigrants, there's a hyper-awareness and a tunnel vision on the specialized high school pathways.
Had they changed the rules, would you be where you are today?
Personally, I don't think I'd be at Bronx Science. I don't think I would have made it into Bronx Science.
I already told her.
Kanae is waiting for her test results. She may be one of the lucky ones. She was chosen for a free 6-year college prep program called Breakthrough New York that offers tutoring and mentoring to high-potential, low-income students. It's meant giving up summers, weeknights, and even Saturdays.
8th grade, you have a practice test this Saturday.
They help us with how to study, when to study, where you're supposed to start with your practice test.
The program opened her eyes to a way out of subpar neighborhood high schools.
When I went to Breakthrough, I was like, wow, college prep high schools that you prepare you for college, because everybody was like, oh, I'm going to this high school. When I get out, I was like, wow, I didn't have to go to the school. I had other options that were greater. And I was like, wow, that's great.
Kanae's mother, Crystal, is a teacher at her middle school. She says Kanae was the only one chosen for Breakthrough from the school. She can't help thinking about the kids left behind in this neighborhood, including her own.
It's 1 in a million. You know, she had an opportunity, but that was out of 350 students. What's going to happen to the rest? I have 6 kids at home, and she was the only one.
As for Kanae, she's got big dreams. She has hopes of attending Brown University and one day becoming a writer.
Has this program opened your eyes to other things?
Diversity. I haven't really seen that a lot. And like coming from the South Bronx is really basically like 2 cultures you can learn from, African American and Hispanic, same kind of people.
So then you come to Breakthrough, then what do you see?
I'm like, wow, I get to meet different people, different cultures, religions, everything that you could think of, and I'm like I'm so happy that I get to.
Because there's a whole world out there.
While Kanae waits for her future to begin, the city weighs the value and the cost of diversity and disparity within their most elite schools.